I'm Jasmine Harmon, and I've lived with my mother's compulsive hoarding all my life.
I'm telling you, I'm keeping those. If that isn't with your agreement, then we have to fall out.
With help, my mum's made huge improvements, and now I want to help other hoarders around the country who are living in terrible conditions.
I'm feeling desperate because I can't cope with it.
This isn't me. This isn't me living like this.
I am shocked. It's literally a wall of stuff.
These are people who have lost their homes and lives to hoarding.
It's going to feel like you can't make it, and that's totally normal.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to spend the rest of your years with this hanging over you?
Sorry, I can't do it.
I want hoarders up and down the country to realise they aren't alone.
Get rid.
You can't use them, so that's a good decision you've made. I'm really proud of you.
Oh.
And that with the right help, their lives can improve too.
Really good to have my space back.
Look what I have found.
The things that I've found that I never actually knew that I had.
I've got something wrong with me, which lots of other people have got, and it can be cured.
This year, hoarding disorder has been recognised as a distinct psychological condition. Despite the official recognition, families like mine are still living with the shame and secrecy of hoarding.
Oh, this blasted door.
Up to 3 million people are suffering, and there are few places they can turn for help. 87-year-old Olive has lived in this 3-bedroom semi-detached council house in Brighton since 1933. Her home is so full that she's forced to spend most of her day outside.
I can't bear to throw away anything that can be recycled. I might see it lying about on the road and pick it up and bring it back. If I wanted a pram and I saw a decent pram, you know, yeah, bring it back. I don't hoard. I keep stuff that will be used again.
The inside of Olive's house is full to the brim with thousands of plastic bags, old furniture and clothes.
That's all aluminium. That can go there.
She can't cook or use the bathroom at home, so gets her meals from the community centre where she also washes.
I want it sorted out to be able to live in it. I mean, it's not a place that you can invite anybody in because you can't get in there. Toby, where's your ball? Oh, somebody's taken that. Taken it and recycled it. That's me, I expect.
I'd come across Olive in newspaper articles about the various battles she's had over her recycling. They mentioned that the interior of the house was also badly hoarded. She's agreed to meet me, but I don't know how she'll receive me.
Hello.
Oh,
You must be Olive.
Hello.
You're doing all your recycling?
Yes, it's such a muddle from the wind last night, and this was normally in a proper order.
Olive has never married or had children, so has no family to support her. She has only limited sight and is registered blind.
Do you spend a lot of time here at home?
No, not now. I'm out most of the time. Have to be out. I've got no means of
What
cooking.
about hot water? Have you got hot water?
No, it's all cut off. It's all turned off.
How would you feel about showing me around inside a little bit?
Well, you couldn't go in there because I don't know what it's like.
What do you mean?
Well, I've not been able to go in since all this was piled up.
But you sleep inside?
Oh, of course I do.
Yeah.
I've got a bedroom. I sleep
Right.
upstairs, yeah.
Olive believes a move into temporary accommodation 13 years ago lies at the heart of her problems. She feels that when she was moved back home, the council failed to put her possessions back properly, and this ultimately created the current chaos.
And that's nothing to do with recycling.
No.
That's the council.
Although Olive is reluctant to let anyone see inside her house, she agrees to let me have a look behind the door to see the scale of the problem.
Oh, hello. Who's that? Who is it? Who is it? Not, wait a minute. Not inside.
Say again?
No, I don't want you to go in there.
Oh, no, I was just seeing if I could have a look.
No,
that
no,
way?
no. Don't want you to go in there. No.
Almost immediately, I find out just how sensitive Olive is about strangers seeing inside her house.
Hello. I don't know who the devil that was. I can't hear. Won't be a minute.
That's all right. I don't know how she gets in and out in there. It's literally a wall of stuff. I am shocked. I think it was the first. It's definitely worse than my mum's house ever was. Can I ask you, Olive, you know, would getting into your house more easily be important to you?
I don't like living in that. It's like a muddle, really.
Okay.
Couldn't be happy, could you? Eh?
Well.
I mean, you couldn't be happy. I mean, poor cat has to, you know.
Never mind, poor cat, yeah, but what about poor you, 87 years old, climbing up a mountain?
Well, it keeps me fit.
Olive has lived in this house virtually all of her life, but now she's unable to access most of the rooms due to her hoarding. Each night, she literally climbs over a wall of clutter to get to bed. The only way to access her home will be to somehow get the hallway emptied and sorted into a separate space.
I was thinking if you take some stuff out, if we could create a space outside where things could be kept dry, we could do some sorting outside maybe.
Well, I want to get it cleared out.
I want to get it cleared.
Yeah.
It's been really nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Thank
nice.
you for letting me have a peek inside. I will see you soon.
Do you want me to come up?
No, it's all right. Bye, Toby.
Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
I cannot get my head around it. It's more hoarded, if that makes sense, than any other house that I've seen. It seems like I'm on the back foot with it before I've even started. She's deep down very ashamed of the inside of the house and scared because she hasn't been into the kitchen or the back room or even the front room for years. She doesn't know what's there. The only one that's been through there is the cat. So God knows what's through there.
I've been contacted by someone whose experience of hoarding reminds me very much of my own. In South London, Vicky and her brother have lived with their mum Janet's hoarding since they were small.
In here is my mum's room.
In their 3-bedroom maisonette, the family squeezed through Janet's piles of possessions, trying to live a normal life. Vicky is a full-time student who looks after the household finances and works 12 hours a week in a part-time job.
Even if I had a friend to say, we would like to come around to your house, I would actually tell them, oh, my mum's busy, she doesn't want anyone in the house, or try and make up lies. Who would want to bring someone here? It's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
I used to be too ashamed to invite people to my hoarded house when I was growing up, so I decided to meet Vicky at a cafe.
Have you ever tried to clear things out before with your mum?
Not really. Even me, if I wanted to clear out my clothes, I'm not allowed to. She says, I need to have her permission to clear out my own clothes.
That is exactly the same as when I was living at home. I was not even allowed to clear out my own possessions.
Yeah.
And if I threw something out in the bin, if I had
she will take it back out.
then it was soon back inside the house.
But it's frustrating, but all you can do is laugh.
And if you don't laugh, you just cry.
Yeah,
because-
but you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
I mean, what kind of thing do you think would be helpful for your mum?
Support
In what kind of support?
in terms of like counselling. That's the main thing, so she can realise, just help and support in terms of that.
Vicky's mum Janet arrived in England from Nigeria almost 25 years ago. She has limited English and is being treated for depression. Like many hoarders, she's become very used to living in chaos.
Hello.
Hi.
So is this where you spend most of your time, Janet, in here?
No, not really.
Where
Not
do you,
really.
Where do you spend your time when you're indoors?
In the sitting bedroom
In your bedroom?
because I suffer from depression.
Are you all right with having me here?
Yes, I'm fine.
And what do you think? Do you think there's anything that could help you feel better?
Well, let's see as it goes. I need help.
Oh, well, hopefully we can help.
Okay.
Hopefully we can help you.
Okay.
Janet's house has hundreds of suitcases full of clothes and materials from Nigeria. She also hoards blankets, duvets and childhood toys.
So this is your mum's room, is it?
Yep, this is her room. I don't know.
So she just has a little bit of the bed to sleep on.
Wow, she used to have more space than that.
This is kind of similar to my mum's bedroom when she used to just have a little bit of the bed that was available, all the rest of everything around was piled up, and then it went up into the corner but right up to the ceiling, and then it spread and spread.
This is my room.
Okay,
Not all of it is my stuff.
okay.
She added the tables. It was so much clearer before, but I was like, I can't be asked to talk anymore.
This is an area, I mean, if we're going to try and do some stuff in the house, maybe we could do your room.
That's what I thought at first. So she can set example. Look at this room. Maybe my room could be like that.
Do you know, when you live with something, you stop seeing, you stop noticing.
Seeing.
And I think that is very true of hoarding. So you live with it all around you and you stop seeing it.
Janet's hoarding is causing massive pressure in the family home.
The way Janet's house is right now is the way my mum's house was when I lived at home. And after I left home, it got a lot worse than that. That could happen in exactly the same way with this family as it did with my family, if it's left unchecked.
A couple of weeks after first meeting her, I'm going to see Olive in Brighton again to see if she really is ready to change. Olive has agreed to let us put up a large tent outside where the stuff from her hallway can be sorted. I've asked Andy Honey, who has worked with extreme hoarders before, to help.
Are you OK me just temporarily moving these? Just going to pop them here for a second. Just
Oh, yeah, I don't care where you put them.
And then we can put the markers straight down the edge of the wall here.
Oh, you're going to do it on this side, yeah?
Yeah.
So do you want me to... I could be getting a few bits ready.
Yeah, that would be
now.
great.
Yeah. You know, at a leisurely pace.
This bit I can do. Look, here, you don't...
I'm moving, making my hips slim.
I'll push it down here. Oh, there we go.
We're in.
We're in.
Done it so well.
Olive appears to be really motivated to get things moving and much happier allowing me to go inside. But what confronts me is even more daunting than last time.
There's some there.
Do you know what, Olive?
Yeah.
It's even higher than it was before.
Oh, yeah, because
I could see through to the kitchen before.
I've got food stuff in there.
Oh.
All that
But
stuff.
here, before, I could see right through to the kitchen. And now I can't see, unless I've shrunk.
No, all I can say is that I could have thrown stuff up there.
With the scale of the task even bigger than I thought, I'm keen to get Olive clearing.
So, did you want to start getting some stuff out while it's nice and dry and sunny and won't get wet?
Not really. First off, I've got to leave some recycling out tonight, and so I must do that.
What have you got to do?
Make sure there's no tin.
Oh.
Yeah. Long process. Well, not really.
Olive has recycled since the war and has been in conflict with the authorities about it for decades. My worry is that her constant recycling is distracting her from clearing.
Yeah.
This routine of the recycling is what Olive does day in, day out. But it is definitely partially avoidance with what she's got at home. The rest of that is all tin.
Have a look.
Oof.
Is it all tin? Yeah?
Yeah, it's all tin.
All dripping?
Yeah. It's a bit rank. I'm just getting a bit slightly anxious about the fact that it's going to get dark and we won't have been able to get much done in the hallway.
Oh, yes, we will. Won't
Yeah?
take long, yeah.
It won't take long.
Olive has a vast amount of recycling to sort through. It's mostly tins and packaging she picks up from the street.
How are you feeling about getting started in the hall?
Oh, just going to get started, that's all.
Fab.
Not
Let's do it. Right, food?
I don't know, I think so.
Let me check.
I've got to have this.
Yes, of course.
I can't have that out in the tent. That is partly food and partly something else.
Shall I have a look and take out the food
No,
and leave it there?
no, just leave it because I know what's there.
Yeah.
You know, I know.
Shall I leave it with your other bag that's got to stay as it is?
Yeah, leave that as it is.
All right.
Once Olive finally gets round to some clearing, it's at a very leisurely pace.
I found me breakfast cereal.
Oh, good.
I've been looking for that for a week.
Oh.
Yeah.
But if you want me to go in, I can
You
see
can't
probably.
get in there.
No, I mean instead of you.
No, I'd rather do it because I know how stacked stuff.
Okay.
So I'll get some more paperwork.
Okay. If you want.
We're nearing the end of getting this stuff out here because it's all falling down.
I think that if she would let you or me go in and move stuff out,
Yeah.
obviously we could do it in a day.
And I can leg it backwards and forwards. I've brought a sack barrow down with me as well.
Yeah.
So, because she's got loads of boxes in that front room. It's
just the hallway that we've
yeah.
really got to tackle.
Hello, Toad. Are you fed up? Eh? Are you fed up, babe? Eh? All right, come and have a look at the tent before it gets too dark.
Okay. That's your paperwork there so far.
Paperwork there.
Doesn't look so much now, does it?
No. Anyway, I'm going in. I'm not stopping out here, it's cold.
Well, that's what I was worried about. That's why I thought it'd be better to do it indoors.
One day in, and Olive's hallway looks largely unchanged.
Come on. It would have been easier when the stuff was here to have done this.
I leave her, climbing the mountain of rubbish to get to bed.
See, the stairs are clear there. It's just...
I'm back in South London to see Janet, and I immediately sense the tension upstairs.
How are you getting on with Victoria?
Victoria starts screaming, shouting on my head today. This morning she starts shouting again.
Have you been arguing since I've been gone away?
No.
You've been getting on all right until today?
Until today she's starting.
Vicky has been to the council to sort out Janet's rent, narrowly avoiding eviction for the family and missing her university course in the process.
Sometimes you say things that you
Don't
mean in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I've asked Dr. Caroline Wells, a clinical psychologist specialising in hoarding and family issues who I've worked with before, to come and talk to them. I want to see if she can help the family build some bridges.
Vicky, what about you? What's it like for you?
It's been very frustrating, like, living here, but then you want to move out, but then you want to stay because you're worried that if you move out, things will be worse, or that's how I feel. I'm only living here because I don't want things to go worse. And I'm trying to help you, but you don't even see that I'm helping you. Like, I had to miss uni today just to sort out. That's the only reason why I was shouting, because you don't listen to what I was saying. Maybe at first I don't shout at first, but then when you carry on not listening, that's when my temper goes higher.
Don't want to move. You want to move?
But you can't move.
Why?
She wants to move to a bigger house. That's what she said. She said she wants to live in a bigger house because there's no space in here. But then at the same time, this house is really big.
So you sort of think even if you had a bigger house, your mum would fill it anyway?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there is something or a way that you would like to be helped, either by Vicky or by someone else, or, you know.
No one is there, I have to help me. Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to say. If I leave, who is going to help you? If I leave, who's going to help pay the stuff or even support you in trying to sort out your house and stuff? That's what I always say to you. And that's why I'm still here.
Being amongst the tension which hoarding brings to any household really takes me back to my own childhood and the stress I felt with my mum.
I mean, I don't know how you keep a brave face on throughout the whole stuff.
Before I used to think that back over the years, I used to think my mum hated me. I used to think she never loved me. Like, because she's never, like, hugged me or given, she's always saying negative stuff. But over the years, when I started to understand and research, I've, like, realised that she does. Or else I won't be clothed, I won't be sheltered.
I mean, I remember the days when I was living at home, I'd get so frustrated with my mum and we'd have screaming matches, you know, we'd have massive rows. She would blame me, I would blame her. But she's still my mum. She's still your mum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just so frustrating. And can see how frustrating it is for Vicky. This is hurting her. And, oh gosh, the whole thing today, like the row that they had, Vicky was trying to prevent them from being evicted. She is the parent in this situation. And those kind of things used to happen all the time to me.
Vicky's strained home life brings back so many memories of my own upbringing. My mum filled our 5-bedroom house to the brim with her possessions throughout my childhood. But with a lot of help, she's made amazing progress. And this year is the first time in a decade we can celebrate Christmas with her in her home.
The fact that we can all go there, we can sit around a table and have Christmas dinner as a family there. I couldn't have even imagined that. You know, if you had said to me 3 years ago or 4 years ago that we'd be doing this, I'd have laughed. I know Mum's been working really hard to get things ready for us all to go round there, and, you know, this is something special.
I really want Mum to understand just how proud I am of the journey she's made to this point and for her to enjoy the day with her family.
Hi, Mum. Hello. Merry Christmas. Cheers.
Cheers.
Even though you know, it's not perfect. At least it's better than having it in your old bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think that you've done amazingly well. When I look at this house, compared to what it was like, I mean, can you remember what it was like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago? We wouldn't even been able to stand here. Have you missed any of that stuff that's gone? Have you?
A few things that I remember, and I think, oh, I want to look at that now.
Have you been bringing more stuff in there to the house?
Well, yeah, but not so much stuff, and I have got rid of some.
Are you able to deal with it better then?
Sometimes, but not all the time. Raw cooking classes.
3-course dinner masterclass.
That's lovely, thank you very much. At least that won't take up space.
Exactly.
Enjoying Christmas with Mum like this really gives me hope that Vicky and Janet and Olive might be able to do the same in their homes one day.
Now, I'd say
This is almost normal.
almost. Yeah.
Almost.
Almost normal. But who wants to be normal?
Almost clear, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
As the winter begins to bite in Brighton, Olive is still working with me and Andy at her own pace to move her hoard from the hallway so she can access her living room and kitchen. As ever, she wants to make sure she checks every single item.
What's in there?
There was another newspaper.
Yeah, but I've probably put it in there for a reason.
Oh, okay.
See, that's what I'm saying.
That bag, okay. But that bag was falling apart, so I'll put it in another bag for you. Is that all right? Okay, it's a bit wet, though.
Is that what you...
Although Olive is vetting everything that leaves the hall, the fact that she's open to letting me in shows how much progress she's made.
Which one's going in, one at a time?
I'll go.
Because you won't get more than one.
No, well, no, exactly.
Take that in.
Well,
Fill it up.
I'm going to fill it up.
Brilliant.
That's a bag of clothes. There we go. Chuck us another bag.
After many weeks of working with her, I realise how huge this whole process is for her.
We've made a little bit of headway now, and we're trying to get through that way. I've managed to get quite a lot off the top and get through there, but it looks, to be honest, let me see if I can reach. It looks, no, I can't quite reach, pretty full back there as well. My big worry is that I don't think Olive's going to be able to let much go. I mean, maybe she'll come round, but right now she still wants to keep everything. It's a lot to do. It's a lot to do.
Given any opportunity, Olive will always return to her first love of recycling. Her biggest thrill is when she can exchange her tin for money, which she gives to charity. So when Andy offers to take a load of cans to the recycling plant, she jumps at the chance.
Oh, thank God I'm going to get rid of those cans.
It'll make it a bit easier emptying out the other end if it stays dry.
Olive started her recycling when she was in the Navy during the war, when make do and mend was a way of life.
You had 165 kilos.
What? 165 kilos? Good gracious.
A lot.
How much?
£29.50.
Oh, good. Only I'm buying this thing for the St John's ambulance for the homeless. Yeah, thank you very much. So all day's hard work has been rewarded because they've now been recycled.
Raising money from her recycling is what keeps Olive out in freezing temperatures in the garden, painstakingly categorising her cans, whilst inside her house gets overrun.
Help me along. Be good. And don't let anyone come in, will you? I'm not loopy. I'm not loopy. He's just someone to talk to.
I wanted to remind her just how much she's helping the causes she donates to and to really find out what that means to her. She's been commended for her efforts at one local charity, but she's never seen the plaque they've put up in her honour.
Thank you. Right, in we come. And this is where we look, do we?
Oh, let's have a look, please. There you are. Brighton PDSA Pet Aid Hospital expresses sincere gratitude to Olive Taylor, who funded their pharmaceuticals throughout 2001. Wow! That must make you feel incredibly proud.
Amazing, yeah. I can't believe that I am actually on there.
The more time I spend with Olive, the more I realise just what an extraordinary life she lives.
I've got to climb up some short ass. There we are.
Although she's never been married, Olive has told me she lost her fiancé in the war.
If Roland hadn't got killed in the war, I would have been married when I was 21. We wanted 7 children, and because I was an only child, and there were a big family of Roland, 7, and we didn't know anything about sex. We didn't even know how it happened. You see, that was, what, 70 years ago, see, wasn't it? 70 years ago.
So after Roland died, you never met anybody?
I didn't want to know men, you know. Roland had died and there's nobody like him, you know. As well, when you're young and you get engaged, that's what it's like, isn't it, you know.
Bye, Olive.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Come on, Tobe. Right. Oh, it's cold. Cold when you come in here. Wow.
I just really enjoyed hanging out with Olive today. She's had such a fascinating life, and you just kind of think, how on earth have you managed to get into this dreadful situation? But then also when she was talking about her fiancé who died, but she never found anyone quite like him. And what's going through my mind when she's saying that is, my God, that is a massive hole in your life that you're trying to fill with all this stuff.
In South London, Vicky is managing to keep her mum's hoarding out of her bedroom, while Dr. Caroline Wells is working more practically with Janet in the rest of the house.
Janet, are you gonna keep that, or can we make space by giving that to a charity shop?
Put it inside here.
In the charity shop?
Yeah.
Okay, well done. Fantastic, look at all that space you've just made. How does it feel?
It's nice. It's not
good?
Yeah. It's not bad.
It's a big deal. It's really good.
Despite some progress, as the sessions continue, the same old wounds are quickly opened between mother and daughter.
How do you feel that we've progressed along that goal? Do you feel you've got a bit more space to dance around if you want to?
In my room, yes.
What's it like seeing Vicky's room like this?
It's nice.
Yeah. Are you happy for her to have this room, or does it make you feel a bit uneasy?
It's good. It's good like this.
Yeah.
Now I understand that in order for her to be able to tidy or get rid of some of the stuff is to do it together.
So Vicky will help you clear stuff if you want her to.
I'll be Caroline.
She can be Caroline, she can be me.
Why are you giving me some dirty look?
And she can help you, you know, if you want to do it by yourself, that's fine, or if you want to do it by yourself.
So that means she doesn't want me to do it then? I see your face already saying you don't want me to do it. I just find it really difficult. Sorry, I can't do it.
What happened to her? She's going.
What do you think about listening to
I don't know.
Vicky sort of saying that she, wants to communicate with you and have a relationship, and it's tricky, isn't it? I'm going to go and see if she's okay, okay?
Well,
yeah?
Okay.
It's tricky to talk about, huh?
Yeah, that's why it's so hard. It's very complicated because I don't want to turn out like this. I don't want to be living like this.
Plastic?
Yeah, no, keep.
It's brittle, look, it's snapping.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah,
well.
Get rid of it.
At Olive's, 2 months in, and despite checking everything, she's making good progress.
Well, it's been slow and but steady. So it's doing it Olive's way, because if she's not happy, she'll tell you where to go anyway and clear off. So, but we are getting there. It's just taking.
We've lost a tin of tuna.
We've lost a tin of tuna.
I don't think.
Yeah, you got another
that's
one.
marmalade there. That can be used.
July 1998.
That's all right.
That's not all right.
Of course it is. It's only sugar.
15 years out of date.
No, it's only sugar.
Hi, Olive.
Hello.
And when I arrive, I'm amazed at what's been achieved inside.
Well, you haven't got as much stuff behind the door as you had before. You couldn't even open the door last time I was here.
Couldn't we?
No. This is amazing. The fact that we're both stood here.
3 of us.
In your hall.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a miracle.
It is,
actually. And
have you think? Sorry,
it was up to here.
Yeah, and all the wallpaper was on the top of it.
And you can get to the light switches and, and the stairs. You can actually see the stairs.
Even though it's real progress, when I go to the tent, it becomes clear where everything has gone.
So this is all of this in here just come out of your little hallway.
Yeah.
I think it would be quite a good idea to do a bit of taking stuff out and a bit of taking stuff out of here as well, like sorting it, letting it go on to where it's got to go, because otherwise you're going to run out of space in here and then you won't be able to do any organising because it will be too full. Do you see what I mean? We don't have to if you don't feel like it today.
Well, I can't be bothered today.
You can't be bothered?
Not today. No, not really, not today.
Do you think there'll be a day that you can be bothered?
Well, I would rather clear the stairs so it's a clear space than start going through stuff here.
The thing is, whilst it's like this, you've actually got room, haven't you, to work in here or to work, once we get through to the back room, to work in there and do the sorting.
Well, no, I don't think you can sort it inside. You've got to bring it out. Go
on, see if you can think of another excuse to get out of it.
Well, it's no good of sorting stuff here if we don't know where it's got to go.
I'm worried Olive is merely moving her hoard from one place to another. Like many hoarders, she's being a perfectionist about clearing, when in reality it will be better just to sort stuff to go and stuff to stay. Back inside the house, she lets me see upstairs for the first time, and it's a whole other world of hoarding.
Where are you?
I'm up here.
How far?
I'm just on the landing.
Oh, you're on the landing. You squeeze through. That's where.
So I can see your bathroom there.
That's where I used to feed Toby.
Upstairs is every bit as bad as the hallway. Of the 4 rooms up here, 3 are inaccessible, including the bathroom. Every space is packed with clothes, plastic bags and old furniture. Although you can just squeeze into Olive's room, only a tiny sliver of bed is left free.
And that's where you sleep, is it?
I sleep, it's a double bed, but I use it as a single bed.
It's only about that long, the bit that you've got to lie on.
It's not.
Do you put your legs up?
I can put my feet right down.
It's hard to imagine that Olive grew up in this house and that these rooms were once her childhood bedroom and her parents' room.
My dad, he was lovely. He really was. I mean, he when I had homework, he would make me sit there until I'd done it. Then he'd check it for me. If there was something he thought wasn't, good grammar or something, he'd say, "Now, my girl, just sit there, read your thing through, and see what mistakes you've made."
So you worked
And
it out
I
for
used to
yourself.
say, "Oh, Dad, you are awful. Whatever I do, you find I've made a mistake." Well, he said, "I'm never perfect." And he said, "You're not perfect." He said, "You've got to learn by your mistakes." I can remember he used to make me sit at that table in the back room.
That was here in this house. Oh.
Yeah.
But what would he think?
Oh my God, what's the hell's happened with this house? Ah, can't have this. We'll sort this out.
What advice would your dad give to you now about changing things around the house if that's what you wanted to do?
Well, I just would want to do what he'd want to do, clear everything out and put it back in the right place. And anything that we didn't want, find a source to give it to.
Thank you for letting me come and have a look upstairs, Olu.
Well, it's nothing much to see.
No, but it's interesting to see.
Only wallpaper falling off everywhere,
Yeah.
and cobwebs.
I'm the first person Olive has let see upstairs in her house in decades. I know from my own experience with my mum's hoarding how difficult that first step is.
And you needn't be ashamed, and you shouldn't be ashamed.
I am, because my parents wouldn't, would be disgusted to think that I was living like that.
It's probably quite painful to think that your parents would be disgusted with you. You wouldn't want to think about it, so it's much easier to, do the normal day-to-day stuff. I do feel bad for Olive, because today she told me that she was ashamed of her house, and I don't think she should be ashamed. And she is now accepting help, which is a massive step forward. And I think in the future, she'll be able to access other help as well.
Four months since starting work with Janet in South London, Caroline and I are making one further push to get things moving out of the house.
You will never need all these duvets.
How many are there? You counting?
I've put up already about 6 duvets into the attic.
Caroline works on Janet's attachment to the hundreds of items of clothing and bedding she hoards. And I work with Vicky on getting rid of her unwanted clothes.
It's good that your mum's doing something.
Yeah.
Right, that's a big breakthrough already, so let's not forget that.
I feel that we're just sort of moving stuff from one side of the room to the other.
Yeah, she does a lot of moving stuff all the time.
Does she?
Yeah, it's like it's a job, even at night, for no reason.
Stay there, bags.
Yeah.
While Vicky and I get on with clearing clothes from her room, Janet responds by having a dramatically different reaction to Caroline's therapy.
Do you want to get rid of those shoes?
Yes, yeah.
Hey, that's the first pair of shoes you've thrown away. What's that like?
Oh, no problem. It's heavy. It's heavy. I say it's heavy. It's fine.
All this can go?
Yeah.
Like sporty, dancey type stuff. Patterned leggings, jeans, pattern leggings.
Danny said that all the luggage and everything that's in them in the living room can go. That's what she said.
For the first time, Janet seems genuinely motivated to clear some of her huge hoard from the house.
I hope she meant it.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Janet, amazing.
Yeah, how are you?
Impressed. I'm good, how are you?
I'm fine.
You're doing really well. So am I right, did I hear right, that the luggage and everything in them can go to the charity shop?
It's fine, it's fine.
That's brilliant.
What's in
All
here?
the suitcase, all the suitcase.
All the suitcase?
Yeah.
Nah, you're talking.
So this stuff,
Yes.
it's not your clothes. Can I take this in the car to the charity?
Okay, let me.
Yeah? Yes?
Yeah. Thank you.
Janet! Give me a high five, girl. Are you tired now? I'm not.
We're getting rid of this whole suitcase. Janet's being amazing and realising that actually it's weak, it's broken, it can go.
Yes.
With everything in it.
Yes.
Let's take one end each.
Yeah.
You take
I'll take the other side.
I got this.
Tomato you, tomato you. That's it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good for you. Found that one?
Yeah.
Another suitcase down.
Yeah, we finished.
Finished?
Yeah.
We can put this whole bag to the charity.
Yeah.
Gosh, Victoria, how happy do you think Victoria's going to be?
She's happy.
She is happy. You've made her happy.
I'm shocked at the same time, but I've always believed that it would happen.
Your mum is being amazing.
Yes, Mum, you're amazing. Did you know that? Did you know that, Mum?
Over the course of the day, we cleared dozens of bags and suitcases from Janet's.
I think she maybe saw you and she was motivated by you and inspired by you.
From me clearing out my stuff.
You know, we left her to her own devices a little bit, and I think once she started clearing, she then got into a real role of it and started to feel that space. Like she said, it feels less heavy, and that's just, I think that was great.
I can't even describe what a big thing this is. It's like somebody turned on the light and she suddenly realised that it was easy to let go of stuff.
And there's huge progress in Brighton too. Olive has made it to the back room and kitchen for the first time in over 16 years.
15 denier tights.
God, they're old. Hey, don't see that being there. Pinafore dress, look. Colour. Probably my mum's. Ha ha, ha ha. Look what I have found. My wedding hat.
Is that really? But you didn't get married?
No, it's my hat I wear at a wedding.
I see what it looks like. Oh, look at
I've come to see for myself how the house has changed and to find out how much of the hoard she's actually getting rid of.
Oh wow, we've broken through to the back. Oh my word, but we're in the back room.
Yeah.
This is a lovely sunny room, isn't it, Olive?
Oh, yes.
When's the last time that you were able to just walk through the hall and come and use this room?
1996.
What did it feel like the first time you were able to just walk into this room after all those years?
Well, I couldn't believe it. I thought, where's all this stuff come from? Where, you know, how's all this got in here?
So was this a bit of a shock?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I've no idea.
What it all is?
No.
Or
it's obviously mine, I suppose.
Okay, so the plan is then to get rid of the stuff that you don't want once you've gone through everything. But there's the vast majority of everything that came out of that hall is now in the tent, isn't it, in the back garden?
3/4, yeah.
3/4.
And 1/4 is recycled. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's quite fair to say, apart from recycling, all we've really done is move stuff from here to the tent, isn't it? We haven't started sorting yet. And you haven't been in this room for so many years, it sort of begs the question, do you actually need any of the stuff that's in here?
Of course I do.
Well, you haven't needed it over those last however many
No, but
years.
it's my mother's stuff. I've lived in this house since I was 8.5 years old, and there's a lot of memories in it. And
so there's stuff in here that you really treasure?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Photographs, but whether they're still here or not, I don't know.
With the marquee outside slowly filling up and a house full of treasures that's captivating Olive inside, I'm worried about how she'll ever start reducing her hoard. Janet and Vicky are progressing well at home, but I want to bring them away from the house to see if it's easier for them to bond. Vicky's passion is singing, but she's never sung in front of her mum. I want Janet to see her daughter in a different light.
Recognise that voice?
He's Victoria.
On the track, ay, 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 yeah! Remix. Keep the faith up. It is the only way it's gonna get you higher. If you don't got it, if you didn't get it. Yeah, yeah. I know I'm getting better. I know I'm getting higher. Na 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 na. I keep on going, I keep on moving, never stopping, like I know the tire. I keep on going.
You must be very proud of her.
Moving, never stopping till I retire. It feels weird seeing my mum here.
Why?
I'm happy.
Show off. Now you had your turn.
Do you know what it was? It was amazing. Like I never thought I would have the courage to actually sing in front of her. And I think we need to like have a bit more of a bond when we go out together. We rarely do that. But obviously it's time. I know Rome is not built in one day, but there's potential. We can definitely build this relationship and bond again.
It will be slow progress, of course. It's not a quick fix. It's not something that Janet can change overnight. But I think with Vicky's support and understanding and ongoing therapy, Janet can make some big changes. And instead of always being preoccupied with everything that's going on in the house, hopefully she can start to enjoy her children and feel proud of them and appreciate what they are doing for her as well. And be a mum to them.
Yeah, you can sing that
She's doing a
I've come to Brighton for one last visit.
Hi, Olive.
Andy and I are continuing to help Olive reacquaint herself with the house she lost to her hoard.
You've got about 5,000 tea bags in there.
Oh,
They're Thai food tea bags as well.
Yeah, we'll keep them in there.
When do we want to actually start throwing some things out, Olive?
I told you I'm not throwing anything out till I've gone through them. They'll all go out in the tent.
That's one thing I know you've always got plenty of, Olive, is bags.
What I want is for her to participate in doing it herself. I want her to be able to make the decisions, and I want her to be able to maintain the progress that she's made and keep moving forward. Otherwise, the whole thing's pointless. So, although it sort of seems like we haven't got that far. I think it's been huge. This is huge for Olive.
Can you read that to me?
Yeah, of course I can.
Where's it from?
31st of December 1963. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Taylor, thank you for your letter. My mother and I are so sorry to hear Mrs. Taylor is unwell, and we hope she will.
Oh, that was when she first had a
recover.
stroke.
Was it?
She had a stroke there. Let's have a look in here.
Okay, ready?
I think they're my sheets. Yeah, I reckon these are my sheets when I was engaged. The navy ones. That was my bottom drawer. That was my bottom drawer. God, it's the truth.
It's like an Aladdin's cave.
Yeah. Hello, sweetheart. Are you coming in? He's my best friend. Faithful friend. Is it coming to bed? Hey? Yeah. You go to bed. Good boy. That's it. Good night. Good boy. My mum. Night night.
Hopefully she will realise that she doesn't really need that stuff. And actually it's just weighing her down. She can let go of it, she can be free. That's what I hope for Olive.
Put that up there. Now.
I hope that it will be the start of something for Olive, that she will carry on down this new road and eventually get somewhere that's a lot happier place for her.
Yeah, nice and cosy, ready to go to sleep after having a busy day. I'm just waiting to finish downstairs and then get this lot sorted up here. Night night, Hope.
"71-year-old Wendy, who taught English to foreign students, has lived in this one-bedroom house in South London for 24 years.
This used to be such a nice room. There's a settee under there and a bed under there. When you get a certain amount of clutter and stuff hoarded, it becomes an almost unsurmountable task, which anybody will tell you. I feel very ashamed, really. I mean, I must admit.
Wendy's house is packed to the rafters with bags and boxes, a bathroom full of clothes, a bedroom so stacked with belongings that only a sliver of bed remains, and a living room almost submerged by clutter.
There's a heater there that's broken that I got to take back because don't know where the receipt is.
Wendy lives alone, but her best friend Giovanni is a regular visitor.
Everything is difficult here.
Cooking is not. Because of the clutter.
What can I do? We have, arguments, but if you like,
argue.
Small arguments.
I don't argue, you do.
God, I forgot, because she interferes.
Interrupts.
Wendy has a particular attachment to the newspapers she's been collecting for 17 years.
I'm very possessive about the newspaper. If they all went, just imagine how much space I'd have. I wouldn't believe it. I think, will I ever look at them again? It's true. I don't know how to throw things away. I don't.
Wendy's friends, workmates and neighbours have tried to help her clear her hoard before, but haven't been successful. She's contacted me to see if I can help.
Hello, Wendy.
Now, you see, Jasmine, that is my main problem. Under there, I've got a computer. I've got a wardrobe of clothes that I haven't looked at least 15 years. They're probably all eaten up by moth. I had a cat in there for 3 days, and I had mice in there. They climbed up the wall. I didn't even know the cat was there. You see these? They're probably quite valuable. They're large size. I don't know where I got them from. Don't ever ask me.
They're huge.
I know, but
what are they for?
Well, they're football boots, aren't they?
Why have you got them?
I don't know. Don't ask me why I've got anything. It's like Christmas every day. When I worked with the Kosovans and the refugees in Wimbledon, where I work now, the asylum seekers, I was in charge of the shoes and the clothes, right? I was bringing stuff back that was being chucked out, and I was bringing it back here. This is largely why, for about at least 6 years, I was bringing stuff back.
As well as the items from her charity work, Wendy, an only child, says she inherited much of her hoard after her aunt and mother died.
The trouble about my mother was that being born in the war, she would never throw anything away, so every drawer in the house was full of things that will have a use for it.
So you've still got all that stuff?
To be honest, I don't know what I've got.
So do you think that is
it's
learned behaviour?
It's ingrained in me. I don't know if other people like this, but when I see something, I don't want to get rid of it. I might not look at it for 10 years. It's this sort of mentality. Mother there, don't throw that away, it'll be useful, you know. It's.
I've met so many hoarders who feel their hoarding comes from a parent, and it often makes the condition even harder to tackle.
Have you ever tried to
Help
clear
her.
up, or to help her sort things out,
to
or
be honest
let
with
go
you,
of some things?
I tried for a long time, and I've given up. And you know, I just say, well, yeah, you know, what can you do? A future. I mean, she's still 70, 71. She's still fit, but you know, obviously she's not getting any younger, and so I think she should do something about it.
It's not always been like this for Wendy. Her career started as a medical secretary before her talent as a linguist took her into teaching, where she lived and worked abroad. Now she wants to regain the life she feels she's lost to her hoarding.
Hello,
Wendy, how lovely to meet you. I've really
Would you like some fruitcake? So you're the clutter lady?
I'm the clutter lady, yeah.
You've got a problem on your hands here, I tell you.
I've brought professional declutterer Heather Matuozzo along to see if she can help give Wendy a plan to start clearing.
One of the things I can't stand is lack of space. I need freedom.
The irony!
And I get claustrophobic in here. I come in and I want to do it and I don't know where to start.
Let's say we've solved the problem of space, so you've got somewhere to sort.
You had some quite interesting suggestions of how some stuff could move around here.
Well, take it to a bigger place for her to look through all the... So in order for her to feel more comfortable to take a look at all the stuff and maybe, you know, hopefully get rid of some of it.
So we find a space, we take the stuff out and put it in the space, and then you sit there and sort through it and
that's
decide
so
where
easy.
it
That's
goes.
what I've always said. If I had more space, I mean, I can do that.
Wendy agrees to us hiring a warehouse space for her to sort through her possessions. When my mum did this, it was a really effective but incredibly difficult experience.
She's a very clever lady, very articulate, very intelligent, but she doesn't pause for breath when she's telling you her stories, and she doesn't answer questions because her mind goes off on a completely different tangent because she's got so much going on in there. And I think that is a reflection of the state of the house affecting the state of what's going on in her head and vice versa. The two affect each other.
"80 miles away in Northamptonshire, the local environmental health team has told me about another hoarder.
This might be a bit difficult. Right.
Lawrence is a repeat offender. After complaints 4 years ago, the council cleared several skips of clutter from his home. Now they're threatening a second clearance because he's back in the same mess.
This big TV is something I picked up I was going to repair, but really needs to move out of the room. All this is sort of an accumulation over over quite a long, I don't know, period of time. A lot of it is rubbish, unfortunately.
Lawrence has no access to his kitchen or dining room, and the rest of the home he bought 12 years ago has a thick layer of rubbish on the floor. He has dozens of electrical appliances, which he had planned to fix, but now sit abandoned amongst the rubbish.
And this is the hallway. Into the hallway. It goes down there to a little conservatory in the back, which unfortunately again is, that one is floor to ceiling high. You know, people say, why don't you just do a bin bag of rubbish a day? But it just doesn't seem that easy to do. It should be, but it doesn't seem that easy to do. I've had enough of living in a mess.
If the council carry out their threat to clear the clutter from Lawrence's home, he will have to bear the cost.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine.
It hasn't always been like this, has it?
No.
Tell me about what happened the last time you cleared out.
Well, I had some help and we cleared most of this room. Was practically clear. I just need to start again, refresh. I can't live like this anymore. It's been going on too long.
It seems to me that you're at the stage where you really don't enjoy this environment.
No.
But you just sort of feel a bit overwhelmed and
definitely
don't know how to tackle it because
Exactly.
it's a mountain of stuff, and you know it won't be easy.
Like Wendy, life used to be very different for Lawrence. He too worked abroad for many years as a salesman and tour guide. An extrovert, he regularly demonstrated kitchenware at trade shows in front of hundreds of people, until a few years ago when a bout of depression kicked off his hoarding.
Tell me about the real Lawrence. What kind of place does he really live in?
Probably not here. Somewhere where I can move about without so much clutter and rubbish. So I can move about freely. Not just this room, but I mean the whole, be able to get into the kitchen and use the cooker, which I can't at the moment.
The kitchen is the room Lawrence feels most ashamed of. It takes a lot of courage for him to even show me behind the curtain he's put up to conceal it.
I know how difficult this is for you to show me this kitchen, but...
That's awful. It's not me, I can't get in there.
I'm telling you, Lawrence, yes, OK, this is a mess. But we can help you with it. This is not...
Can I put this down now?
You can put it down.
That was bad for me.
Yeah, it's bad. I agree with you. It's bad. But it's not as though it has to stay like that forever.
Lawrence is now just the shadow of the man I can see he once was. Clearing won't get rid of his depression, but it would be a start.
What are your priorities with this? Is it getting things sorted out inside in your head, or is it actually getting the house sorted out? Or
Everything.
all the stuff that Lawrence has gathered around him is like a comfort blanket. He's almost made a little nest for himself. So if you just take all that away, it's like stripping him bare. And if you don't replace it with some other kind of comfort, then there'll always be that tendency to bring it all back, as has happened before.
To get the house cleared would be one major thing off my worries in life. To be able to move about and not step on things all the time. At least that would be one step nearer to a normal life, maybe.
In South London, it's 2 weeks since Wendy agreed she'd move some of her hoard out of the house and into a warehouse. Today's the big day, but getting started is proving difficult.
Can I just explain something to you that you might not realise, is that what you're anticipating happening is actually not going to be as bad as you think it's going to be. So just know it's going to be uncomfortable, it may even be painful, but you will come out the other side.
As long as I don't lose things.
You can stay exactly as you are if you want to. Honestly, I don't, if it's going to tip you over the edge, don't do it. But I can genuinely say from experience that what you're thinking, how you're thinking it's going to feel, it's not actually going to feel as bad as all that.
I'm quite excited in certain ways, especially upstairs, but don't make such chaos up there, more chaos than... You see, once I start going through things, I just don't realise how much I've got.
We'd agreed that the entire contents of her living room would go to the warehouse, but now Wendy is trying to control what can be moved and what must stay at home.
Anything like this, I don't want to go up, I want this to go in the bathroom.
So hold on, what you want is for us to just move this stuff all around the house rather than taking it out?
I don't want any material things going into the warehouse, like the curtains. I'll watch you as you do it.
There's no point us filling up the bathroom, Wendy, because then you'll be in a muddle in the bathroom.
These are not going into the warehouse. They're going in the bathroom because I thought that
Why?
the bathroom doesn't matter. The bathroom is closed, and I'm not sorting.
The bathroom is closed, but it's a bathroom.
It doesn't matter. I'm used to it.
And you can't get in the bath.
Well, I'll get in the bath eventually.
Oh, nice.
Why don't you like the idea of clothes going to the warehouse to be sorted?
Don't ask me, please. I don't want to.
Okay, fine.
Because it's not necessary.
No,
I told you the clothes are in the bathroom. Can I have some more chamomile tea?
Yes, we'll put the clothes upstairs in the bathroom like you've asked, but I want you to be aware that there are other alternatives to the way you're doing things. Because it hasn't worked so far.
It might be for other people, but not for me at the moment, Jasmine. Please don't go on at me anymore. Just leave things as they are. Okay.
I think everybody that hoards has a need to be in control and a need to use the things that they've got. They've got them for a reason. They can see value in them. But I think it's even more difficult with Wendy because she's absolutely adamant that there is no other way.
But can you clean later? Once everything is sorted, then you clean it.
I want to clean the Hoover before I take it out. I mean, you went through this with your mother.
I did, and my mum was having psychiatric treatment. She was on antidepressants. She was having a psychologist once a week.
And I don't need psychiatrists to tell me because it just screws me up because it brings back the past of my mother and I don't want the past to come back. What's the point?
Is this not the past all around you?
Psychosynthesis.
I mean, I'm not going to start analysing because I know you don't like it.
Yeah, please tell me.
What I mean is, for you...
You don't expect me to change?
No, I don't. What I'm saying is Wendy has got a little bit of tunnel vision and that it might be good to take the blinkers off.
Probably more than a little.
Might be good to take the blinkers off and just say, oh, OK, these people are trying to help me. They've made a suggestion. I could try it and see how it goes.
Don't tear that cloth, that's amazing. You've torn it. You've torn it. I know it's probably rotting because it's sitting there for years. That's my nice picture there.
Wendy wins the battle to move her clothes to the bathroom, but paperwork, boxes full of clutter and newspapers are moving out.
But at the end of the day, I'm sure she will be happy with that, hopefully, because she's my friend. She's my friend.
I'm feeling desperate because I can't cope with it. I just realised that's the life, my story of my life, my childhood, not coping. You know, it's something inherent in me. I'm not strong like you think I am. I appear to be. And, you know, even having people in the house putting things in boxes, and I don't know where anything is. I don't know what I've got to. There's so much of it, just for one room. And the bedroom is 3 times more stuff in there.
For all hoarders, the thought of losing their possessions is traumatic, but for Lawrence, with an enforced clearance hanging over him, there's little choice.
Videos?
Oh no, throw them or recycle them, I suppose.
Okay.
But nobody really wants videos these days. What are we going to do with that then?
Skip.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah. Skip, please.
Goodbye, class stereo.
Rubbish.
We've hired a skip, and Lawrence's hoard will be separated into what's recyclable and what can be binned.
Two TVs down.
Brilliant.
Several to go.
But even with the threat of a massive bill from a forced clearance, Lawrence is still struggling to let go of some of his broken electrical appliances.
It might be repairable and usable, and I've already committed certain monies to getting the door.
What you have to think about is, what's your track record of doing that? Are you going to be hindering yourself more than what that could be worth to you if it's fixed? And weigh it up, and then you make the decision.
Yeah,
it's up to you.
difficult. I mean, this is the only thing.
This the only one?
Well, then there's the the tumble dryer. The tumble dryer and that would be the only one. Oh, and there's a dishwasher in there as well. Oh.
While it seems like the clear-out is coming easy to Lawrence, it just takes one memory of his former life to remind him how bad things have become.
What's amazing, you have been travelling around overseas, exhibiting and selling at the equivalent of the Ideal Home Show.
Yeah, I worked at the Ideal Home Show in London for 8 years.
Did you?
Selling various products, yeah. Bringing tears back to my eyes again. I mean, people see me out and about and they think, oh, there's nothing wrong. But unfortunately, there has been. I mean, to have got in a state like this, it's not normal. And it's not me. But here we are, hopefully doing something about it. Not hopefully, we are doing something about it.
It's a big step.
Yeah.
When I look at Lawrence, I just think he doesn't relate to any of this. And just finding that photograph, you know, you can see who he was. He had a responsible job, you know. He's lived abroad. He's done loads of things with his life, and for him to have ended up like this is really, really sad. He shuts that front door and he hides in here, and it's like he's almost shut the front door on his emotions at the same time. And now, you know, it's like we've opened the floodgates. It's all coming spilling out emotionally and physically. So it's a time of huge change for Lawrence.
One day in, and Lawrence has made a good dent in his hoard. He's been here before, so we need to make sure this time he doesn't slip back.
when we get it back to a normal, livable state, then I'm sure I'm going to feel 100% better. I mean, today, yes, I do feel a little bit better. But there's still a way to go. But yeah, what we've done today has been brilliant. Good start.
Now, what about this?
No.
I guess you don't want
Sorry.
this anymore. Great. He's starting to uncover take off all these layers that he's built up around him. I think he's kind of enjoying it. Just being able to release the emotions and to talk about the past and to think that he's got a future ahead of him.
In South London, we're slowly relocating Wendy's downstairs hoard to the warehouse. But today, she's decided to take some of her vast collection of clothes and some more from a friend to charity.
How long has it taken you to get those 2 cases ready to go to?
Well, 10 years, really. I haven't looked through them for 10 years.
Wendy does a huge amount of good work for charity, volunteering to help refugees and donating clothes. But my worry is that it doesn't help her hoarding, allowing her to sort endlessly while not actually tackling her problem.
Wendy wants to go through that stuff, Bernard.
No, it won't take a minute.
No, it won't take a minute.
Right,
Does she
okay.
need to go through it, or do you take anything?
Well, we'll take it. We'll happily take it, whatever needs.
No, I just want to see what's in here. I'm just putting things as to what they are. Trousers are together, shirts together. I just want to see what's here. It's obvious what I'm doing, isn't it?
No, because all these are probably bags of mixed stuff waiting to be sorted.
Yeah, but oh, Jasmine, for goodness sake. Isn't it
Say that
obvious
again?
what I'm doing? You really get...
No, I wasn't sure if you were sorting them into things that were going and things that were going somewhere else or coming back to your house.
See, once I get going, I'm very speedy.
It would be speedier to just leave them. I know I'm annoying you.
I realise
I'm annoying you, and
I'm interested. I'm a very organised person, Jasmine, you'll see that. Oh, look, brand new socks.
After a 3-hour round trip and endless arguments over parting with her clothes, we finally get back home with 2 empty suitcases.
In one sense, it was great because she let some stuff go, and that's really good, and I really want to encourage that. But in the other sense, if that is how we have to get rid of everything, it's too time-consuming, it's too labour-intensive, and I don't see how we can really make a huge impact if everything's got to be done in that way.
It's hard to watch Wendy wrestle with her hoard. Her resistance so reminds me of my mum's struggle to clear her hoard from our home. Thankfully, after many years, my mum did change. But for some hoarders, that never happens. I've been contacted by 2 sisters who've spent a lifetime living with their mother's hoarding.
This door here, you couldn't actually get to.
Where did it lead to?
Another room, which was full.
Oh.
Couldn't even get up the stairs, could we? Couldn't get up the stairs.
Chris and Maggie grew up in a military family. They had many moves throughout their childhood, with the family eventually settling in Hampshire. When their parents separated in the 1970s, their mum Sheila began to hoard, and her house became increasingly difficult to live in. But as with many hoarders, few people knew.
To those people who didn't know she had a problem and who had no knowledge of her other life, which she hid very well. I mean, she put up a very good smoke screen, but she was a really good fun lady. She loved partying.
But she just didn't like throwing things away. She had in her head that they were going to have this dream home. So she was always collecting wallpaper, lampshades, curtains, was it?
Hundreds of pairs of curtains and carpets.
For the dream home?
For the dream home. One year I took her 2 grandsons down to try and remove some stuff from the garage because it was just so full, you couldn't get in there. And as we tried to get a very, very old rotten carpet out into the car to take to the tip, she physically became ill.
You know, we're talking about an elderly lady who was having to climb over goodness knows what. Her heating wasn't working properly because the plumber couldn't get to the pipes. It was very sad, really, because if she hadn't had this hoarding syndrome, for want of a better word, it's my belief she'd still be here today.
Towards the end of her life, Sheila was suffering from anemia and unable to eat because of an infected tooth. Her hoarding meant she was confined to living in a small space in her kitchen, sleeping at the table or on the floor amongst rotting rubbish.
The outcome was she had to be admitted to the medical hospital so they could carry out some more tests. She wasn't even in there 24 hours. But she died in a clean room with clean white sheets. And
with people who cared.
And she said thank you to them. And that was, she said thank you to them half an hour before she died.
All she wanted was her family near her, to come and stay, grandchildren to come and stay. She got all these rooms in her house, but they couldn't get in there. It's a little bit like somebody who's got an alcohol problem or a drug problem, where they eventually have to admit that this isn't really what they want and that there's help out there.
It's like they've lived my worst nightmare. They've lived the worst nightmare of any family member of a hoarder. Nobody deserves to end their days unhappy, living in a home where they can't function, that's dirty, that's jam-packed so they can't move. Nobody deserves that.
I firmly believe that it was the therapy my mum received, alongside the practical help, that set her on the road to recovery. I want Wendy to be given that chance too, so I've asked clinical psychologist Professor Paul Salkowskis to meet her.
So which room's this? There's bathroom, toilet, okay, got it.
Wendy's told me she doesn't want to rake up the past, but I'm worried she won't make any progress without understanding why she began hoarding.
I left home when I was 18. I went to the French Lycée Secretarial College. Sent to boarding school when I was 17 because I was always a problem to my mother. And then I worked in a stockbroker's, and then I went to Nigeria. And
Wendy,
I lived in flats
I'm going to interrupt
in
you.
London.
I'm going to interrupt you. Do you find that your thoughts are jumping around a lot?
Oh, yeah, I always do.
Is that always the
Butterfly
case for
mind.
you? Yeah? Is that always the case for you?
When I think of one thing, then I start thinking of something else.
Yeah. You're having problems putting things in order in your own mind, aren't you, a bit?
Trouble is, I'm a perfectionist. And when I tell you something, I have to tell you the whole story.
The whole story, okay, all the details.
Basically, my mother wouldn't... Every drawer and every cupboard was full of stuff from the war. Yeah? So I'm telling you, wartime. Never touch anything, never throw anything away.
But you've been...
It's so ingrained in me, you know.
You've been obeying that ever since, have you?
No, it's just the way I am, you know. It's just that...
It's just the way you are?
No, what I mean
Don't
is...
you choose a bit
no,
about
no,
who you
but
are?
What I mean is I've never thrown things away all my life. I don't know how to do it.
What you just told me was
I
that
don't
your
know how
mother...
to throw things away.
your
I've got all
mother-
my diaries from 10 years, because in 7 years' time I'll be able to use that diary again.
You're drowning in detail, aren't you? You're really drowning in detail here.
Well, I told you I always go into detail. Yeah.
You're drowning in detail. And I don't quite know
Well, I'm
what...
drowning in everything around me, aren't I?
I know, it's the same thing. But I actually think there's a connection. Because I don't actually think that's very funny for you.
Well, it's not funny, never.
Some of this is about how painful it is. I think the detail that you're going in is blocking off some of how you feel. Whenever we've talked about anything that might be about how you feel, you laugh it off, or you go into the detail, you go off at another tangent.
I think all my life I've shut it out, being made to feel...
What was the feeling that you were shutting out? Feelings of, I mean, I'm guessing there's going to be feelings of loneliness.
Well, if you don't relate to people, I mean, that aren't... I mean...
That's a problem you have, right? You have difficulty relating to people.
Well, in all reality, I probably never really come to terms with any feelings in my life, really, because I've always felt out of it. I've always felt different. I've always felt ostracised. I always feel I've been misunderstood all my life.
But Wendy, you're still living with it, and this is one of the ways you're living with it. And this is...
Yeah, probably the clutter is my life.
This is... The clutter is your life. Yeah, OK, there's a good way of putting it. But and is that what you want? Do you want this clutter to be your life?
Of course not. Yeah, well, what's the outcome to that? I can't change now at 71.
I don't believe you can't change this. I believe you can change this. You're trapped in a number of ways. Some of it is in here, being trapped in here by some of the things that you've had to go through. And it still, and it tumbles out, and it tumbles out.
As you say that, there was a lot of pain there.
The reason that you're thinking the way you're thinking is because you're trying very hard not to sink beneath the surface of what you're really feeling.
What the hell have I got kept those for? That's Hoarding, isn't it? 2001, crikey.
In Northamptonshire, a week into his clearance, and Lawrence is making real progress. With Heather's help, he's grasping the opportunity to change and take responsibility for himself.
Have you got a telly that works?
Yeah, I've got a telly that works.
Why do you need another one?
Well, I don't, but...
Come on, let's get rid of it.
To keep the momentum going, a couple of friends are here to help.
Great unveiling.
Yeah. The great unveiling.
Just start there.
OK.
Start there, like plastic recycling. What is that?
What's on the other end of it?
Another pipe.
Yeah, throw that one.
Lawrence's situation is a perfect example of a lot of people that I see. They have lost their way, they've become paralysed by their belongings, they've over-acquired for whatever reason, usually to make them feel better. But with help, once you make a start, that's what it is. It's breaking the back of silence, isolation, shame, and once that happens, it's just magical, really.
I've just got to the stage where enough is enough, and I want my house back, I want my space back, I want to be able to live, I want to be able to use the kitchen. It's gone. Piece of my life in some respects, but not a piece of my life I want to remember, really.
In South London, after 4 days of shuttling van loads from Wendy's house to the warehouse, even a knee injury won't stop her seeing her ground floor possessions laid out for the first time.
Oh my God.
Right.
Is that all my stuff?
Here we are. This is
That's
all...
just one room. What's that metal thing over there?
A big pot by the look of it.
Is that mine?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. Somewhere in your house.
Extraordinary. Well, I tell you, half the things in here I won't recognise. We haven't done the bedroom yet. There's far more in the bedroom than there was in the sitting room.
Are you surprised at how much there is here?
Absolutely amazed. But it's only the sitting room. 20 years.
Immediately, it becomes clear just how painstakingly meticulous Wendy is when it comes to sorting through her hoard.
Can you give me another small box or bag?
Another one.
These are the things that I'll take home and go through when I'm watching telly.
And there's one collection which is going to be a real wrench for her.
I'd love if you gave me some newspapers. I need about 8, 9, 10. I need at least 10 pallets of newspapers for a papier-mâché sculpture I'm making.
Are you serious? Come on. Come on. Pull the other leg. Oh, my God, Jasmine. I feel great because I've got space around me.
How come you like space when you're not at home, but you're not sure about it when you are at home?
Because I just have that feeling. It's just this space.
But it's nice.
Nothing in it. Oh, it's fantastic. It's necessary. Look, that's a house I nearly bought in Putney. I wanted to move.
Wendy needs to work really slowly. I mean, it's going to take an age. I don't even know how it's going to happen. Because right now, the little bit of paperwork that she was sorting, well, all of it's gone back into boxes to go back to the house to be sorted.
Don't put anything in any bag without me seeing it, please. I'm not saying I'm going to keep it, but I just want to see what's there. Look, there's a John Williams CD box in the rubbish max.
A week into sorting in the warehouse, and Wendy is still struggling to part with any of her possessions. She's going through everything in detail and not addressing the pressing issue of the newspapers.
If you could let go of this in one go...
What does one go mean?
Like you said, OK, it's all going. Just bring the van in.
No.
It's all going.
No.
If you could...
Not yet, not yet, not yet.
And by the end of the day, it begins to overwhelm her.
Listen, think of...
I don't know where all this came from. I've never seen these things
But
before.
if you've never seen them before, then don't bother looking through them.
I've got to look through them.
You haven't. I'll look through them for you. If you haven't seen them and you don't have any attachment to them, then I can sort them for you. You don't have to do it. It's only things you recognise.
Before she's finished sorting through the warehouse, Wendy decides to divert her attention to the clutter upstairs in her house. But, as ever, she's captivated by her possessions.
Conscientious with an eye for detail, that's me. Now seeking a career restart opportunity using newly acquired computer skills. I think that's quite a good CV, isn't it? Oh, letters to people I never sent. Now that's a typical thing of me. Oh my God, jigsaw puzzle. Oh, look at that. Isn't that amazing? Oh, but it's too small. Oh. Well, no, I mean, and then I find something beautiful like this, and of course, maybe it makes the whole thing worthwhile, I don't know.
This place smells.
So do you. Everything smells in this house, according to you. You don't have to help, it's better if you
there's
don't.
another armchair here.
Yeah, I know there's another armchair here. You know I got 2 armchairs.
Well, you're gonna keep it?
Of course.
Oh, fuck.
If Wendy's going to make progress at home, she's going to have to make some tough calls about her possessions.
I'm just worried now. I'm worried. I didn't know that all this stuff was here. It's an absolute nightmare to me. I'm beginning to almost despair of this. It's so much worse than I could have ever imagined.
Although clearing can bring trauma for a hoarder, sometimes the space that's left behind is just as difficult to deal with. Lawrence's efforts have averted a clearance from the council, but I want to find out how he's coping mentally.
It's been very hard the last couple of weeks.
Has your depression reared up again?
Yeah, big time.
Really?
Mm.
Are you feeling worse, more depressed now than you were before?
No, I don't know. No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. Well, that's That's good.
Yeah.
That is a good step.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, in the last 2 weeks when you've been feeling down.
Yeah. No,
And
I've managed to
unmotivated.
keep the place
You've maintained it.
clear. Yeah, I've had a rubbish bag and made sure that I put it in a rubbish bag.
Brilliant. So, you know, I would think about ideas, not just for the clearing part of it, but for everything, you know, how you're going to get Lawrence back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the next step, as it were.
The thing is with Lawrence, I wonder if he thought, if all the mess goes, then all my problems will go. Now that the house is, you know, largely clear, and the sort of problems inside, the emotional upset, the sort of lack of motivation, that kind of thing, might still be there. So we have to also work towards getting some systems in place for him, some support networks, you know, something to keep Lawrence upbeat, get him up out of bed in the morning, and some self-esteem.
I've arranged for him to see clinical psychologist Dr. Victoria Bream Oldfield to see if she can give him a plan to deal with this spiral.
The bad sort of feeling is that I haven't done any more, and I feel quite guilty about not. I don't know. It sort of seems that I get up, I watch television, and go to bed, and that's it. And I shouldn't be doing that. I should be carrying on with the clearing of my bedroom and the back room and the second bedroom.
Right. It sounds like you are being very tough on yourself, and you are feeling bad, and you know. In your experience, how easy is it to get difficult things done when you're feeling bad and beating yourself up?
Not very easy, really, at all.
No, if you're the same as everyone else, then yeah, that's the case. If you get out of bed in the morning and berate yourself and are tough on yourself, that actually is going to really lessen the chances of you getting everything else done. And I guess that's a really important thing we need to take forward. How are you feeling just now? Because you're looking pretty troubled.
Upset again.
Yeah. What were you thinking about just then? Or what was it something I said that touched a nerve?
Not maybe being able to get up at all until very late in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I feel bad about that as well.
And I guess maybe what we could kind of be on the lookout for is what's keeping that going, and if there's anything we can sort of start to do that's going to help you to feel a bit more able to get out of bed in the morning and start doing things in your day that are going to keep your spirits up a bit, keep you feeling a bit more like there's something enjoyable you're doing in the day, and something where you can feel a bit of that sense of achievement, the satisfaction of having done something in your house or elsewhere, like other things that you want to be getting on with in your life. I mean, does that sound sort of a reasonable suggestion?
Yeah.
I think Lawrence will gain a huge amount from ongoing therapy. He's just at the start of his long recovery from hoarding.
And that's what most of the
Wendy's progress on the same journey seems to have stalled. After a month of micro-sorting in the warehouse, what remains is due to come home today. To make space for her newly sorted possessions to return, she needs to let some things here go. I've come to make one last appeal.
It's always going to be difficult. It was the same with my mum. The day that we had to get out, it was so stressful. It was, you know, there were tears. It was a nightmare. But I think if I can only help Wendy to see that actually letting go will be pleasurable, actually she will gain so much. She's got to think about what she's gaining, not what she thinks she's losing. Because actually all she's losing is stuff that weighs her down. Hi, Wendy.
Oh, hi, Jasmine.
How are you?
Well, I don't want to answer that question. I'm surviving.
Surviving.
I'm not as young as I was, and I can't cope.
I'm here to help.
This is my aunt's clothes from 1950.
And what do you want done with them?
They go in the bath.
Really?
Well, because this room's got to be cleared to bring stuff into. It all have to be piled up again on here.
Is that really what you want to do, Wendy? Pile everything back up?
I don't know.
I know. I can see that it's a lot of stress.
No, this all got to go upstairs.
Okay.
Wendy is adamant that nothing more can go from the house, despite desperately needing to make space for what's coming back.
How can I help you now?
Just stuff things in bags and...
Stuff things in bags. I actually...
We're making... Jasmine, all I'm doing
I'm not
now
going
is
to actually
making
speak
space,
because...
Making space.
I feel bad just throwing everything in the bags.
No, don't feel bad about anything, Jasmine.
I do, because I think it's not helping.
Well, don't.
It's just making the situation worse.
I've got to put boxes in here and they can't go in here when all this junk is on the table. I'm just trying to make space. Why can't you see that? God,
I'm sorry. I'm just saying I would rather not. I would rather we didn't have to put them all in.
Don't say it, because otherwise I get upset.
I don't know what I'm
I don't want to do this either, Jasmine. I don't want to do this either. Do you really think I want to do this myself? Of course I don't.
No, I think
but there's no alternative. Just can't have it anymore.
It's very difficult. This is not a solution, just putting everything into bags and throwing it in the corner or putting it on the bed. That's probably how it started 20 years ago.
The final trip to the warehouse can't be put off any longer. There is some light. After struggling for weeks to let go of her single biggest hoard, the bags upon bags of newspapers, Wendy's asked us to get rid of them. After blocking her hallway and dominating the house for 17 years, at the warehouse, they're packed up and ready to go.
Wendy, that's pretty amazing.
What's pretty amazing?
All of that newspaper sorted to go. The newspapers. I was amazed that she just didn't bat an eyelash when those newspapers went. I thought there might be some drama or other, but nothing.
Getting rid of her precious newspapers will create much needed space at Wendy's, and she's managed to part with about a third of the rest of her possessions in the warehouse. She's made progress, but the echoes of her past are never far away.
This is the record of my birth and everything that happened to me. And my mother was such a perfectionist. Very cheerful, happy child, always loved going places, very mischievous and everything. Always spoilt everyone, always made a fuss of, loved air raids until we got a bomb. From then on, got frequent nightmares. She got turned out of one place after another, and each time we moved, she got worse. I got very bitter about it all, as especially said she wouldn't get better till we really settled down. Oh, God, and I read that. I wanted to read that when my mother never told me that. She was a very, very fastidious, good, kind woman, my mother, but there was no love between us, I'm afraid. There's masses of things all about my childhood.
I'm sure you can enjoy reading through all of that now
It's very
you've rediscovered it.
The month in the warehouse has been really tough for Wendy, but by letting her newspapers go and engaging with her past, I think she's taken a big step forward.
It has been funny at times, stressful at times, heartbreaking at times. But it's a work in progress. I just hope that Wendy feels like some progress has been made and that she will keep going with it. I just don't want to find that she's stagnated and nothing's changed, because she's been intending to do things with all of these possessions for decades. We'll see.
When I met Lawrence 4 months ago, he was at his wit's end. His house was full of rubbish and old electrical appliances. Now I've come for one last time to check on his progress.
I'm excited. I've heard good things.
Right.
Oh my God. Oh, it looks like almost like a proper front room. You can sit down, you've got space.
Yeah, I've still got a little bit of sorting out to do, but...
This is about stuff that you're keeping
just needs to go
needs
through...
sorting.
Are you ready for this? This will be a big shock, I think. I was going to move that, but...
This is amazing. So how's it been having a working kitchen?
It's great, fantastic. I've got my microwave and I've got my other cooker with the 2 hot plates there that I use. Yeah, it's great, fantastic. Come and have a look down here.
I've actually never been beyond that point before. Oh!
But yeah, no, it's fantastic having my space back. I mean, obviously, when I get, I hope I can get it even better than it is at the moment.
Yeah, of course you can. Have you been able to get on with anything when you haven't had other people here or other people coming round?
I hate to say I haven't done anything. I haven't been able to do anything. Why is that? I don't know. Depression. I just haven't managed to...
motivate yourself.
Yeah, motivate myself.
But,
I mean, as we spoke to Victoria, and she said, well, don't beat yourself up. But
exactly.
I do beat myself up because I feel guilty that I haven't done anything on my own.
We've been talking right from the start about getting the old Lawrence back, but I think even in reinventing the new Lawrence is probably even better because things have changed and you've had a lot of different experiences.
Yeah.
And really the world is your oyster.
For Lawrence, clearing his hoard is just the start of the journey to discovering what life could be with a proper home to live in. In South London, 2 months after we moved her possessions back from the warehouse, Wendy is at home and I've come for one final visit.
Wendy?
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
I reckon in here, Wendy, there's probably about 70% less than there was the first time I came here.
Yes.
Because do you remember? It was just a tiny little gap.
I know.
You couldn't get... there was a little tiny bit of...
Yes, I know.
Here.
Are you in
It's amazing. Oh, Wendy.
There's still a lot of stuff at Wendy's, but she's made a start, which is often the hardest step of all.
The thing is, as long as I can get into bed, I've got my bottle of
Exactly. I mean, you can actually get into bed. Before, it was up to here, and it was up to the ceiling. I honestly never expected you to let go of so much stuff. All those newspapers, all the clothes that's gone.
Giovanni was
So
absolutely...
much.
Giovanni was flabbergasted the day I let the newspapers go. He really was... He was speechless. He just couldn't believe it.
And her best friend Giovanni is doing his bit to keep her going with regular encouragement.
You've done well so far, but only for...
But only for your sake. And remember, you can never take your stuff with you forever, Love G.
Do you know, that is a true friend who is saying to you, do it because actually you can't take this stuff with you.
But it's for your sake, he said. It's for your sake.
Yeah, and it's... And no, you don't care about his sake. You have to do it for your own sake, nobody else. I think for somebody who just felt they were worthless, now she's starting to acknowledge her successes. All of the hoarders I've met, they feel ostracised from their families and from society. But actually, what they need is not judgment, they need support. And with the right support, miracles can happen.
According to the Institute of Psychiatry, as many as 1 in 20 people in the UK are hoarders. and many of them are suffering in secrecy. Jeff lives in Plymouth. If you saw him on the street, you'd think he was a perfectly ordinary 79-year-old. But behind his front door, it's a very different story.
The situation has certainly taken over my life to the extent that I have a sort of dual personality of the me inside the house and the me outside the house, where I behave as though the house is quite normal. Precisely like a secret life.
Jeff had maintained that secret life for 20 years. Until a few weeks ago.
A bus driver came by and saw a lot of flies in the window. He then told the police. And the police thought, oh, has the inmate of the house died? And so they came along and banged on the door and there wasn't anybody there. And obviously I wasn't dead. So they then told the council.
The council told me about Jeff's story. Their environmental health officer has issued Jeff with a 42-day order to clear his hoard. His secret is out. And now he's been forced into a corner. Clear or be cleared.
I can totally understand why Jeff keeps his hoarding secret. And, you know, I kept my mum's hoarding, but the whole family kept it a secret for years because we were totally ashamed. I really hope that maybe through me telling Jeff about my experiences, that he might also find the courage to open up to some of his friends or family. By keeping it a secret, he's taking the whole burden, all the weight of all that hoard on his shoulders alone. Yes, you're vacuuming.
Well, yeah, people do, you know. It's
I know, it's one of
since
my...
they've been invented about 100 years.
Nice to meet you.
Jeff has made a start clearing, but after 5 weeks, he's barely scraped the surface.
So what kind of things do you collect, Jeff?
The things I collect tend to be things with lots of shiny knobs. I've got a variety of microscopes. I've got a ultraviolet microscope.
So,
I mean, basically, my interests are enhancement of human capabilities.
So do you think there are benefits to having all the stuff that you've got?
Well, it's shades of grey. It's shades of grey.
And how does the prospect of other people knowing about this, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel so unpleasant that I just don't think about it.
Maybe I can reassure you a little bit because with my mum's hoarding, we went to great lengths to hide it from the outside world because we were ashamed and people just didn't understand. And eventually, when we opened up with it, we were incredibly heartened actually to find out how many other people were in similar situations. We thought it was just us. Do you have any other family and friends that...
I've got my sister.
Your sister.
Who I think requires the praise for putting up with me.
Has your sister been to the house? Has she been to visit you
No.
here?
She's one of the ones who I'm trying to conceal it from.
Jeff's hoard has spread across all 3 floors of his house. 3 bedrooms, a loft, and 2 large rooms downstairs, all rendered useless.
When's the last time you were able to sit down in here?
Well, I don't think I ever have sat down in here.
Having lived in this house for 25 years, you have never been able to sit down and relax in your front room.
That's right.
How far does that go through? I can only sort of glimpse.
All the way.
But you can't even see the size of the room.
Well, you see the food museum. If I'm doing well, it's a tin a day. A tin a day keeps the council away.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
What's that room?
That's the bathroom.
When
The bath
were you able
actually
to
does
use
work.
it last? But
About 8 years.
Jeff, you practically have to do the splits to get through here.
Well, there you are, you see. People pay good money to go to health clubs. You're getting this for nothing.
What I think we should do, Jeff, is try and formulate some kind of plan as to how we tackle what you want to do in the house.
Well, my plan is to try to make it to the back wall of that room downstairs. That will allow me to get at a variety of computer magazines which must be 10 years old. They can be flung.
My worry about doing it in a very small space and doing it bit by bit is that it's very slow. One thing that we did with Mum was a warehouse where we took a load of stuff and it gave us space to sort. With what you've got to do, the task is pretty monumental. It makes me sad to think that he's been living like this for a long time. And the fact that he's got no one, I just think, God, how tragic that he's got to this stage. It's unimaginable, really.
Basically, I wouldn't have believed it. I mean, Jasmine knew where I was coming from. It appears that I've got something wrong with me, which lots of other people have got. I'm no longer the unique me.
Hoarding is a condition that takes control of people's lives. Jeff's hoard has forced him to live a life of shame and secrecy. Jean's hoard is preventing her from even living in her East London flat. She moved out of her flat and in with a friend after a health scare. Now Jean wants to move back in.
Heavens above.
But she can barely get in the front door. Like Jeff, Jean's hoard has reached the attention of the local council, who are concerned that it's a fire risk.
Once this gets cleared here, hopefully be able to get through. Oh, sugar.
Jean's daughter Jeanette made contact with me in the hope that I may be able to help her mum clear her hoard before the council do it for her. Jean wants our first meeting to be away from the flat.
Your flat is inaccessible at the moment.
Or you can get into the hall.
Just get into
That's
the hall.
all.
And so, does that upset you or worry you, or how do you feel about it?
Yes, it does worry and upset. This is like a bad dream, you know? My daughter lives in Scotland and I used to travel to Scotland on my own every year. Now it's a bit of a daunting thought.
Mm. So with the flat being full up with stuff that's all a bit disorganised, what do you want to do about that?
Well, I'm going to sort it. It's not rubbish. It's not for the dustbin.
Jean's 69. She's had a tough life. She brought up her daughter Jeanette as a single mum, holding down up to 4 jobs at once to pay the way.
When's the last time you had anyone round here?
Pardon?
When's the last time you had anyone come to your flat?
Can't remember. Now I've got something that's breakable in here, so I don't really want to leave that there.
It's somewhere safe, doesn't it?
Yeah. it round here.
Do you mind if I peek round the door?
No, fine. This is the house that Jack built. This is the house that Jean mapped up.
I wonder if I move this stuff out of the corner, I can go into that corner and shut the door, and then I can move those bags from behind the door so we can open it.
Go on,
What
then.
do you think?
Oh, yeah, let me take that first. It didn't happen.
Are all the rooms filled up like this so you can't
not
get
quite
in?
as bad, but they're not good. Oh my God. I am absolutely shocked at the state. I didn't think it was as bad as it is, but it is.
The situation is bad. Jean's so consumed by her hoard that it's preventing her from visiting her daughter, although they do talk every day on the phone.
Want to have a word with her?
Yeah, I'd love to talk to her, actually. Hi, Jeanette. The moment, just talking to your mum this morning, it feels to me like she hasn't really accepted that the problem is as serious as it actually is.
I still think that's the case, yes.
Yeah.
She has an idea that you can organise what's there.
Mm.
And I've said to her time and time again, it's not possible.
I totally know what you've been through with this, and I imagine it can't be easy at all, being away.
Many sleepless nights.
Yeah, it's a big worry.
I can put that in there, can't I?
It's good to speak to Jeanette. I can relate to everything that she's been trying to do for her mum and how frustrating it is. I don't think that Jean is ready to let go of anything, but there's too much stuff in this flat. She's in denial. There's no other way of putting it.
With Jeff's 42-day deadline looming, we need to start clearing. But Jeff has become so used to living with his hoard that I'm not sure how ready to clear he really is.
This is more or less as comfortable can be. And I think, well, supposing I was an Edwardian millionaire in a stately home, it wouldn't be any more comfy. And certainly he wouldn't have anywhere near as good a bedside lamp.
Jeff has agreed to let me move the contents of the ground floor to a local warehouse. Heather Matuozzo, a professional declutterer who works extensively with hoarders, is going to help me clear.
Entree!
I'll step into here so you can come up.
Where am I going
and
then?
see. So what you've got in here is the bathroom.
The bath is temporarily full of shoes.
What'd you say?
What's full of shoes?
The bath.
I'm hoping by moving Jeff's possessions away from his home, he'll feel more able to part with them.
That's an FM receiving aerial, 3-element, which I was intending to use for getting French radio stations to improve my French.
Letting go is not going to be easy, but Jeff understands that something's got to give.
I mean, basically, do I want to get my place sorted out or not? Or am I going to run a museum for 20-year-old magazines with a request in my will that they be cremated with me, which would present a real problem to the crematorium?
As well as giving Jeff the chance to really sort through his possessions, clearing the hoard from his house should also buy him some time with the council.
I can see intellectually that it is a very good idea, but then of course there's the thing, other people are laying their germ-infested, sacrilegious hands on all my precious belongings.
I mean, at some point he will have to face up to it and do it himself and do the letting go. But I think we're slightly pushing him out of his comfort zone. This stuff's sorted here.
Semi-sorted.
Semi-sorted.
I do want to hang on to those. Oh dear.
Jeff's hoard is unique. Scientific machines, antique music rolls, and a vast collection of tins he calls his food museum.
I just want you to look at the food museum. I don't
well,
want you to
a
eat
lot
it.
of it's okay.
Do you know how old it is? Have a guess. Have a guess.
I think probably about 8 years.
More.
It doesn't matter. I mean, basically, it was cheap because it was dented, not
It's
cheap because
16 years old.
Yeah, but you see, my logical mind says there isn't anything wrong with them. If there was any doubt about it, first of all, it would go thud, thud, thud when you shook it. This doesn't. It makes the right noise. Secondly, that would be slightly convex. It's not.
So there's no way I could persuade you to
Not really,
reduce your food museum a bit?
No.
Oh.
His fridge freezer is even more disturbing. It's been hidden in his hoard for years and years, the whole time switched on.
Oh, that's it. What was in that jug?
I don't know, but it's a perfectly good jug.
In my experience, hoarders have a very different relationship with their possessions. Where we might see junk, Jeff sees treasure.
Was that hard for you to let that stuff go out of the house that we've put in the car?
Yes. I think certainly it is a somewhat traumatic thing to see the things going out of the door. It was a bit like having a sort of important part of my genitals taken away. That sort of feeling.
That's how it feels?
Yes.
You know, I'm sorry that it feels painful, but I think you're amazingly brave. What will be interesting to see is that whether having that extra bit of space, how that balances out against losing that part of you. In no way was this easy for Jeff. Even though he's outwardly joking about it, he's got this inner turmoil that's going on, but he's going to let it go because he knows it's for the greater good.
The actual feelings are a sort of being violated in a small way. It's hard because it's my possessions. But I think probably the real reason is much more deep in the subconscious than that.
Jeff has done remarkably well so far, but if he's going to get to the root of his problem, he'll need other help. I've asked Professor Paul Salkowskis, one of Britain's leading hoarding experts, to talk to Jeff.
Jeff is incredibly intelligent, charming. It would be easy to look at Jeff and go, he's fine, he's sorted. But he's not. He's totally not. There's a lot going on beneath the surface.
Do you know what the technical definition of hoarding is?
No.
It's actually when your possessions, when the things you put in space prevent the space from being used for the purpose it would normally be used for. And so the problem, in a sense, that part of the definition of the problem is that it stops you doing really important things and stops you living in your house.
Important things to you?
Yeah.
Jeff was born in 1933 in Nottinghamshire. His mother was a secretary and his father ran a local printing department.
You were only child, or did you have brothers and sisters?
I had a sister when I was 7.
Mm-hmm. When you were much younger, so perhaps when you were a child, was there a shortage of money?
I had, when up to 1939, I think I bought a fair collection of expensive toys.
Did you play with them a lot?
I think so, yes. But my mother used to chuck them out when the paint was a bit damaged.
So what were you left with?
Not very many.
Yeah. Just talking about your childhood in general.
I was lonely. So occasionally I used to go off to other kids' houses. I viewed these with amazement because they always looked as though I vomited them. You know, the kids' toys all over everywhere. The houses we lived in. But our house...
was perfect.
That's right. And it is logical to say, well...
Go with your heart rather than your head, actually. The logic is...
My heart's walled off.
I think you are very detached from your feelings. You're the boy who grew up in the perfect house, yeah. And here you are now. And somewhere between the two...
Very opposite.
Yeah, the very opposite. This is almost an anti-home, isn't it?
Hmm.
Jeff worked for many years as a chemical engineer. In 1966, he got married. He was 33 years old. 18 years later, the marriage ended in divorce. Since then, Jeff has lost contact with his 2 children.
Around the age of 50, you lose your house, you lose your wife, so actually you lost everything.
To a first approximation, yes.
There's a number of ways in which I think you've been damaged. You probably don't have to be a rocket scientist or even a chemical engineer to work out that there might possibly be a link there.
A link with hoarding, you mean? Or
Yeah.
a link...
A link with what's around you. This is a horrible way for you to live, and that's what I said to you earlier on. It's upsetting. It's upsetting to see how you have to live.
I wish Jeff would be able to open up a little bit to himself, sort it out before it's too late. I can't think of anything worse than him living out the rest of his days in a semi-derelict house, full up with stuff on his own.
Jeff has gone to great lengths to keep his hoarding a secret from his friends and family. But not all hoarders are able to conceal it from those close to them.
Okay. All right.
Jean's daughter Jeanette is well aware of her mum's condition.
All right. Oh dear, yes.
And she's becoming increasingly worried.
It's upsetting, yeah. There's all sorts of emotions. You're upset, obviously, for your mum. You feel guilty because you think you should have done more, and yet at the same time, you know you've actually tried quite hard. So, you know.
Mug or a cup? They're all clean, but where
It's already
where
boiled.
are they? Yeah, I know. I put it on.
They're all clean, but where are they?
Yes.
Like me with my mum, Jeanette's been trying for years to help her mother overcome her hoard.
Sort out this.
I'm looking forward to meeting Jeanette because she has been in a similar situation to me.
Now, where's the coffee?
Quite true.
Where's the coffee?
It's around.
I mean, I know from experience with my own mum that it feels like it's never ending at times. You feel like you're getting nowhere.
Doors closing.
Jean visits her flat almost every day to try to sort through her hoard so she can move back in.
Hello?
But she's not making any headway, and with the threat of a council clearance hanging over her, it's causing great anxiety. I mean, we're right at the beginning of this now. It's not going to be an instant fix, as you know.
Yeah, I know.
it will take a long time and it will be an ongoing process. What would you hope to achieve? What would be your long-term goal, Jean?
Peace of mind. I'd like to have more of the stuff put in its right place, because none of this is in the place it should be.
Jean dates the chaos back to when her belongings were moved by the council from one flat to another, following a fire in the block. But Jeanette told me her mother's hoarding was just as bad in her previous flat.
I think we need to clear some space in the living room today.
Yeah, would that be a good step
That
for
would
you,
be a
Jean?
good step, yeah.
Heather has joined us to try to get things moving.
If we form a human chain up the corridor, pass some of that stuff out, would that be okay?
I'd prefer the stuff to go just in the doorway of the kitchen rather than in the hallway.
There's not enough space, Mum.
Isn't there? You don't know.
Do you think then in all that stuff there, we aren't going to find repeats of things that you have?
No, I don't think you are.
And you don't feel ready to let go of anything yet?
Not yet, no.
Jean is resistant to letting go, a resistance Jeanette is all too familiar with.
Do you feel happy with how it's going today, or do you think we should be doing anything slightly differently to adapt to your mum?
I think you're doing really well. She's very difficult. You should say so herself, I think.
Yeah.
Kitchen.
Have you ever tried to help her clearing out with her being there in the past?
Oh yeah, in the past I've had to, but it's never been very successful. It always felt like a battle. And that was probably inevitable because there was just me. I had a limited amount of time. I had a huge wall of stuff to deal with and a mum that didn't want to get rid of anything.
Does it make you feel resentful in a way that this stuff has sort of taken over? Or is it...
Yeah. That's not me blaming my mum.
No.
That's just not wishing that it had not happened.
Must be a lot of weight on your shoulders, having...
Yeah. This is the first time I've ever shared it.
Oh. It actually really makes me sad.
That one and that one, could they go?
I don't know yet. Well, you can take that one.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I take 4 out of 10?
No, I can't.
Why?
Sorry, because I want to hang on to it for a while.
Do you feel happy with those bits that you've selected going to the charity shop?
That's fine.
Can we just put a few more things in here just to pad it out? It's not bulging enough.
No, that's fine, as it is.
After 6 hours' work, we've managed to clear some space in the living room, but Jean has only let 5 items leave the flat.
Those bits
Yeah,
we'll
fine.
take to the charity shop.
Okay.
Well done, Jean.
Right, that's all right. Sorry there's not more, but there might be more next time.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, bring that to
Yeah, okay then.
I think today was really, really hard for Jean. It may only seem like a small step, but for Jean, I think it may be quite monumental. Because Jeanette's an only child, the whole weight of it has been on her shoulders. It was just her and her mum. But when it's your mum, you can't ever turn your back on her.
Thank you.
Hey. Well, that's amazing, isn't it, actually, to be able to sit like this, sit in here after... Yeah. There's still a lot to sort through.
Yeah, I do know that.
So what am I going to do? Take up bowls? I could have a rifle range, or I could do experiments. Could measure the velocity of the speed of light.
It's taken a week to clear the downstairs of Jeff's house into a local warehouse. Everything bar his food museum, which he's refused to budge. In the process of clearing, he's come across some old treasures.
There is my father's top hat. And So it fits me.
He's also found some unwanted guests.
Oh dear. I can't afford a vet to do a proper autopsy, but I think it's food poisoning.
The council's 42-day notice has expired, but as there's been visible progress, he's been granted a stay of execution.
Basically, the council are gobsmacked. I think I'm now in the situation I can say, look, do you really want to carry on with this clearance notice threat?
Despite Jeff's optimism, they won't let him off the hook that easily. Right now, his hoard is being held in a local warehouse. What he can't let go will end up back home.
Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. This is actually only from 2 rooms in Jeff's house, and it's filling this entire space. Maybe seeing it all laid out like this will make him realise that actually there's too much stuff, even if it was all organised. You know, just the pianola rolls would fill it more than an entire room.
Today will be the first time Jeff has seen his possessions since they left his house.
I think this is going to be quite difficult for Jeff. I think he's been putting off and putting off and putting off, and I think he's going to go through the same emotions that my mum went through. It's like ripping off an arm or a leg. That's what it feels like. Hi, Jeff.
Hi.
Come in.
Righto.
How are you?
All right, thank you. Considering, you know.
Come and have a look.
There is a lot, isn't there?
Jeff has got some difficult decisions to make about what he keeps and what he lets go, including the 1,000 music rolls. They play on an antique self-playing piano called a pianola, a device Jeff doesn't even own.
This is going to be the easy place to start, isn't it?
Hmm.
Look at all those.
I might even hang on to that, I'm not sure. That's a super thing if it works.
Let go.
Oh no, I definitely need that, because at the present moment I'm short of them. That's okay for tools, you see. It's actually, though it looks a bit fly-blown, it's actually perfectly good.
Really?
I remember the sewing machine, I got it for £2.
Does it work?
I think so. If it doesn't work, I'll mend it. And that's a cushion. I think it's probably worth keeping. Now, just a moment. Those are television aerials, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need one of them. Right.
There is always going to be a sort of compulsion to go back to the way that you have lived. It's a habit. Is that more pianola rolls?
Oh yes, I appear to have lost control on pianola rolls.
You've got a lot and no pianola.
Well, I had 14.
When was that?
Well, late stages of my marriage.
So how long ago was that?
30 years.
So what got you started collecting these, Jeff?
My ex-wife also liked pianolas. It all came unstuck because of the divorce.
There are always going to be certain things that push a button that he'll find it much, much more difficult to decide to let go.
What we'll do, we'll stop, because basically I'm getting to the stage when I'm not quite sure whether I'm coming or going.
It's been a tough day for Jeff. So far, he's barely let go of anything. I don't want to pile any more pressure on him, so I'm taking him back to his house.
Entree.
Oh. I've never actually even seen this room. I just had no idea what it was like.
I hope that seeing his home clear might remind him what we're trying to achieve in the warehouse.
How would you feel now if the stuff that's gone just stayed gone and never came back?
Well, it would feel rather sad in that I'd then have to start buying pianola rolls all over again.
Do you feel then instinctively that once the stuff that's coming back from the warehouse arrives, you will go through it, or do you think it will just lead to more hoarding?
Basically, if I get myself back into the hoarded up state, in some ways it's a fate worse than death.
Unlike many hoarders I've worked with, Jeff can see the hole he's dug himself into. Question is, does he have the strength to dig himself out?
I don't want him to take all that stuff back. If he's going to take it all back, then it just makes the whole exercise completely pointless. Today is a big day. It's crunch time, really.
This is the first item of many to go in the to-go box, probably charity shop.
OK. So
That-
this is your to-go box now?
That's right.
Good. Keep or get rid?
Get rid.
What do you want to do with this, Jeff? Ditch it?
Ditch it, yeah.
Good.
Almost immediately, it seems Jeff has had a dramatic change of heart.
What do you want to do with it?
Get rid. I keep that one, and the other one's boo-hoo.
That's really good, Jeff. Actually, you're right. Boo-hoo. You can't
Well, I
use
hope
them,
they-
so that's a good
yeah.
decision you've made. I'm really proud of you.
Bye-bye, black bits of wood.
You're understanding that this wood, as lovely as you perceive it to be, is not helping you.
I think the ladder stabiliser can go to auction. I think charity.
Right.
Whole lot charity, I think.
He's just brilliant. He understands what's going on so deeply. That is a big, big part of the way towards recovery.
Jeff has turned a corner. Most of his scientific machines are going to auction. There's a pile to go to the charity shop, and some of the hoard has even made it to the skip. The last problem area is the 1,000 pianola rolls, and Jeff has had a radical rethink about them as well.
So this is no good.
No, well, no, it's a 65.
It's a 65.
You see, you need a 65
No good for
note
you.
player.
Pianola rolls come in two formats, 65s and 88s. Jeff has decided to sacrifice the 65s in favour of the superior 88s.
Scrap.
Is that
65. 65.
700 of Jeff's pianola rolls can now go.
I can't tell you how happy this is making me. I know you think I'm weird, but...
Well, I don't know, I mean, I'm somewhat weird myself.
He's done so well. You know, there's still a long way to go. But so much is going, and he's just gets it, and it's like such a relief.
Do you think any of that can go?
No, I know it can't.
Why?
Because that's why it's here.
But
it's here for use.
OK.
I last saw Jean 3 weeks ago. There's been no breakthrough since then.
So can that go with this?
Leave it. please.
Despite Heather's best efforts.
When everything's put in the right place, do you think there will be space?
I'd answer that with one word, and that would be hopefully. It wouldn't be here otherwise.
So you think it's here because it's just got to find its place?
It's here because I've gotten into such a muddle.
What about this? Can this go?
No.
Something's gone out of sync, and an exaggerated attachment has been given to something and an inability to let go.
Jean has an irrational attachment to her possessions that we've so far failed to break. I need to try something else, so I've asked Dr. Victoria Bream Oldfield, a clinical psychologist, to talk to Jean. I want Victoria to try to convince her that she needs to let go.
You've met Jasmine now quite a few times, and you know that she has your best interests at heart because of your own experiences, that even today maybe being able to practice making a little bit of progress and maybe kind of taking that deep breath and letting some things go with the goal of this actually being a lovely place to live where you can be free and be happy and do what you want to do rather than it being about this stuff on your mind all the time. That is the real waste of time and a waste of your life because you're thinking about it all the time. You can't do anything you enjoy. You can't even go and visit your daughter because you're thinking about this stuff. It has had an impact on your life and what you're able to do. And there's an awful lot of things you still can do and you're extremely capable, but then you're going to need some help with things.
I don't know what I want. That's the sad situation I find myself in. I don't know if I ever imagined that I would feel like this, but I don't know what I want.
So what do you think of Victoria's suggestion about letting one item go and having a bit of a leap of faith and saying, OK, take, I don't know, Jerry Halliwell's yoga, left a bit, Victoria.
No.
What about that? Can I take that for safekeeping and just to experiment to see how you feel letting something go?
No, it's not. That won't come into it, I don't think. I'm not you and you're not me.
Over the last week, how many times have you sat down and watched a DVD or a video?
I haven't, because things get in the way.
Right. That, I think, says it all, that you haven't done the things you want to do. Things are physically in the way, and also they're like emotionally, mentally in the way for you because you wake up every day with all this hanging over you.
Up until now, Jean has only let a few items go that she didn't care about. This time, she's let me leave the flat with something she wants to keep.
The point of the exercise of taking something away is hopefully for Jean to realise that it's not important and in fact she doesn't want it back because it's not helping her. And hopefully if she can decide that about one thing, she might be able to decide the same about others. Then we might start making some real progress.
It's been a week since Jeff and I began sorting in the warehouse, and he's been busy working through the remainder of his hoard.
We've got, I would think, at least 75% of it, either ditched or charity shop or auction.
Letting go of 3/4 of his hoard is a massive achievement for Jeff. Now I want to turn our attention to another aspect of his hoarding, the emotional side.
He said he's built a wall around his heart, and I think he just doesn't experience feelings of pain. And I think he's still punishing himself.
Everyone has lots of emotion, but different people deal with them in different ways. Now, I haven't told my sister yet
about what's been happening, and I am slightly dreading telling her. I still have a little bit of a difficulty in coming out with something that I'm a bit ashamed of.
If Jeff is going to come clean about his hoarding and share his problems with his family, there's more work to be done. He's having another session with Professor Paul Salkowskis.
OK, so I'd like an update.
I think I'm doing very, very well, considering. Really, the only thing that's relevant, I think, is the feeling of being violated and the feeling of loss. So, obviously...
Is there a matching positive feeling with this lot? I don't know if it's happiness or is it...
I don't think there's any such thing as happiness. I think it's just the absence of misery.
It's quite bleak. There's no such thing as happiness. There's no
life
motivation.
Life is bleak. We're born, we age and we die.
It's a few bits in between. Sometimes people say happiness doesn't exist when they fear not having it. Would it be all right if we were to look at the photos? So, this is your family home.
That's right.
That's your mother? Is that your mother?
That's my mother, yes.
There's a lot of photographs of you.
Some of these will have been taken by my father, you see.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. What's this?
So that's my father. That's my mother.
Yeah. And here's a magnificent toy.
Yes. And I had the toy removed from me because I made holes in it to ventilate it.
Yeah. These are really good, aren't they? I mean, what do you feel looking at this lot?
Well, this is the first time I've looked at them for about 20 years, actually.
Why is that? Why is that?
Well, they're basically not on the top of the heap.
The point of those photographs, I was watching you as you were going through them, the point of those photographs was the memories. Now, I don't think they're entirely happy memories, and I don't think it's disconnected from this idea of happiness doesn't exist. Let me put it in a simpler way, okay? Let's suppose that you have a 6-year-old grandchild, okay? And your 6-year-old grandchild comes to you and says, I don't think happiness exists. Do you think that you would turn to him and say, well done? That's just exactly what you should be thinking. That is a good rule to run your life on.
All right, then. I think you've made a point there. I give in.
I'm just kind of, I suppose the reason I'm saying is because you are that 6-year-old boy. You were that 6-year-old boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is hard to talk about that sort of thing, but I am opening up a little bit.
It's been 5 months since I started working with Jean, and so far it's been a real struggle to get her to let go of anything. The reality is, if we can't help Jean clear her hoard, the local council will clear it for her.
Yeah. Put your blindfolds on.
Why? And we're going to be stunned by loads of space.
Frustratingly, though, it's not space we find. The front room is more hoarded than ever.
Just filled up again.
No, it's not. It's not been anything else but full. One day there'll be a miracle happen, perhaps.
What would it look like if there was a miracle happen?
It would be clearer, much clearer. There's nothing here that's rubbish or for chucking out.
No, no.
It's just that it's got to be sorted.
Jean?
Yes.
Do you remember you gave me something to take away the other day? You were going to imagine that it was gone forever, and see how you felt. So how do you feel about that item now?
Well, if I knew what it was, I might be able to give you an answer.
I think that is your answer.
That's your answer. It's immaterial. What's important in life are the people. Your daughter is worried about you because you are paralysed by this stuff.
I'm sad about it. I go to sleep, when I wake up, it's the first thing on my mind.
This might be radical, but what if you said, guys, I know you've got my best interests at heart and you want to help me to avoid incurring costs and stress by the council taking my stuff and putting it into storage. I will trust you to do the right thing with my stuff.
I trust you, but I just don't want anyone.
The horrible, stark, unpleasant truth is it's either us or them.
I think at the present time we've got to put stuff on hold, really.
Your whole
because
life is on
otherwise-
hold, Jean. You're not able to travel. You are stuck here because you can't leave until it's sorted out. It's not going to get sorted out on its
Yes,
own.
it is.
Do you want to spend
No,
the rest
no.
of your years with this hanging over you, with every
No.
morning you wake up and it's the first thing that you think about?
The thing is, it's about 6 or 7 words, I believe.
Go for it.
I've got to do it myself.
Why?
Because that's me.
It's really hard. I'm actually struggling to try and keep a lid on everything because I feel like I've let Jeanette down. Stupid, really, but having been in the same situation as her for so many years with my mum, I feel like we were her last hope. It's just so tragic. I feel like we've reached a stalemate.
In Plymouth, it's a very different story.
Look, isn't it shiny? It's practically new. Look how big it is. So, as I am at the present moment, A, where am I going to put it? B, I need it considerably less than I need a hole in the head. I think very much that I'm a recovering hoarder. In some ways, it has been as though I was in some sort of strange, surreal dream. I'm slowly sort of surfacing.
A lot has changed in Jeff's life since we first met.
I reckon I'm only about 250 years behind the modern kitchen. I got a tea towel now as well. I got 2 of them, actually.
Jeff is acclimatising to a life less hoarded.
Hi, Jeff!
But I want to know if he's finally had the courage to tell his family.
It's not looking too bad. Is this the stuff that came back from the warehouse,
That's
then?
the stuff that came back from the warehouse.
Jeff is still a hoarder, but he's come a long way. Even his food museum has been thinned out.
I've thrown out 80 tins now.
You've thrown out some tins.
Well, yeah, most of them have gone down there. But so, no, you know, I mean, I'm still quite healthy.
How have you been feeling emotionally? Happier? Yeah.
Oh, yes. I mean, there's no... Well, I mean, I've got all sorts of options that I can do now.
And have you told other people about what's going on?
With very great difficulty, I told my sister.
Have you?
And somewhat to my surprise, they did not take a judgmental attitude. They haven't said, you're worse than a waste of space, you know, and what have you done this for and all the rest of it.
That is absolutely wonderful. That is almost the best thing to have come out of this whole process. I think it's enormous for Jeff, the fact that he started telling people about it. It's amazing that he's told his sister what's going on, and I think he was pleasantly surprised. They were supportive. And I think that when you've been hiding something for such a long time for fear of being judged, to actually come out of the closet and to be able to talk openly, it's liberating. You feel like a massive weight has gone from your shoulders. And, you know, I think that's where Jeff's getting to now.